Good morning, everyone. Yeah, we're excited that you guys are here at the Kent ISD Conference Center. My name is Craig Weigel. I'm actually the principal of KCTC, Kent Career Tech Center, and I'm subbing in today for our workforce director, Ryan Graham. He unfortunately broke his rib this past week. He thinks he's an athlete still, but he slipped down some steps, and he's not quite the athlete he once was, and so he's not here with us today. I share that with Ryan's blessing, of course, and we wish him a speedy recovery. But I'm going to do my best job filling in for Ryan and welcoming you guys here today. He said to fill about an hour and a half of content, and so I've got a laundry list of things to navigate. So just kidding. We're going to be in and out here with a welcome, and certainly want to reflect some of Ryan's comments and some of his thanks to all of you as well. So thank you guys for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us. This event is really about opportunity for young people, specifically the Michigan Apprenticeship Readiness Program, or the MARC Certificate Program. And it's creating clear hands-on pathways for students to explore and prepare rewarding careers. And so we're really excited about that at KCTC, as it directly impacts our students at KCTC as well as students across Kent County. So we're thankful for this opportunity. Today you're going to hear from employers who have already built this model into their operations and seen firsthand how it strengthens both their teams and future talent pipelines. We'll also take time to celebrate the early adopters of the MARC program and thank them for their leadership as they've opened doors for students and set the standard for what a strong educational system and industry partnership can achieve and what it can look like. Additionally, some of you might not know, but Kent ISD is also working towards something called Career Prep 2030, where we're really trying to enhance and double the opportunities of CTE and CTE-like opportunities for kids in Kent County by the year 2030. And so that's a huge and ambitious effort, but it's about giving students access to meaningful real-world experiences. And so this partnership certainly helps us to enhance that as well. It prepares kids for life outside of high school. So what are those post-secondary plans related to workforce, college, career readiness, entrepreneurship, things like that. And so that's what all these partnerships are really about. By expanding the youth apprenticeship opportunities and through the Michigan Department of Labor, we're hopeful that students can develop the skills, the confidence, the connections with you all needed to thrive. And it's not just the students who benefit from this. We're hopeful that our workforce and local industries also benefit from this direct connection when you have a skilled and career-ready workforce right here available to you in West Michigan. So we're super excited about what the future of these apprenticeship programs offer our students here in Kent County. So on behalf of Ryan, our students across Kent County and the entire Kent ISD team, we want to extend a heartfelt thank you to our incredible partners, West Michigan Works, Royal Technologies, and Fox Motors. Your commitment ensures that students have access to life-changing opportunities today, and that our region has highly skilled workforces in the future. So with that, I'd like to officially kick off our program by welcoming Joel Elsenbrook, Apprenticeship Project Manager for West Michigan Works, to welcome you guys as well. Thank you for being here today.
Morning, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate you being here. Once again, my name is Joel. I'm from West Michigan Works. I'm part of the apprenticeship team, and it is our job to help businesses develop and manage registered apprenticeship programs. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to talk a little bit about registered apprenticeship, talk about the MARC, talk about the journey that we've been on with the employers. Then we're going to invite some of those participants who have been on this journey with us to have a panel discussion and ask them a few questions. And then we are going to recognize the employers as well for their work in this pilot program. So again, a little bit about us. I'm part of the apprenticeship team at West Michigan Works. We help employers develop and manage programs. So we are a program sponsor, which means that we work directly with the Department of Labor, and we are currently managing over 60 registered apprenticeship programs. But we are also what they call an intermediary, which means that we are kind of the middleman or a consultant. And so we're here to help anyone or any business that's interested in registered apprenticeship. So we can help with program creation, whether you want to come under one of our programs or whether you want to start your own apprenticeship, we can help you through that process. We also offer technical assistance to businesses that already have apprenticeships. So we can answer questions. We can help you make changes or updates when the federal government's working. I won't say anything more about that. And sometimes it's something as simple as helping you recover a password that got lost in transition. So we're here to offer technical assistance. We can also provide streamlined administration for businesses that don't have the capacity to manage their own programs. So you can come under our standards and we can manage the program for you. And we can help you utilize funding sources or get access to resources to help cover program expenses. So just at a high level, I want to do a very high level set of what is involved in a U.S. Department of Labor registered apprenticeship program. It's different than on-the-job training or an apprenticeship or an internship. There are some very specific components, if you will, to a U.S. DOL registered apprenticeship program. And the first one is business involvement. Okay, it's an employer-driven model. So you have a lot to say in how you want that program to look and how you want to set it up and how you want to run it. There are also two types of required training in a U.S. DOL apprenticeship. There's related instruction or classroom training that's directly related to the job that apprentices will be performing, and there's structured on-the-job training where apprentices will work with a mentor applying what they learn in class. Another core component is a reward for skills gained. So there is a wage increase incentive for apprentices to complete the program. And upon completion, there is also a national occupational credential, used to be called the journeyman card, that the apprentices will receive from the U.S. Department of Labor. Now, we found that employers utilizing registered apprenticeships see several benefits. Flexible and customized training. So you can adapt the program to fit your needs, and you can customize the training for company-specific requirements. It's also a great opportunity to expand your access to resources because programs registered with the U.S. Department of Labor are eligible for state and federal resources that support talent development. Think grant funding here, right? That's something that we can help with as well. There's also a rapid transfer of knowledge from current to future high-value workers when an experienced mentor shares the tricks of the trade with an apprentice. So apprentices not only learn the required skills for the job, but they can also get ingrained in company culture as well. There's an increase in retention or reduced turnover. The national statistics show that 94% of apprentices stay with the employer after they complete their program. And another core component or benefit for employers is the opportunity to identify high-performing entry-level employees and getting them into apprenticeship programs can create a stable and reliable pipeline of qualified workers. And really, that could be one of the biggest challenges that employers face, right? How do you identify these high-performing entry-level talent and move them efficiently into your apprenticeship program? And that's what we're excited to talk to you about today. This is a new pilot program with the state that provides a clear system to screen, prepare, and advance candidates into an apprenticeship program. When it comes to pre-apprenticeship programs, not all are created equal. The Michigan Apprenticeship Readiness Certificate, or as we like to call it, the MARC, was designed to raise the bar by recognizing only high-quality training programs that truly prepare individuals for success in registered apprenticeship. The goal of the MARC is simple: create a stronger, more reliable talent pipeline for employers by aligning pre-apprenticeship training with industry needs. Programs that earn the MARC endorsement don't just train participants, they prepare them to transition directly into registered apprenticeship opportunities with confidence and competence. So there are two levels of MARC credentials. A MARC Level 1 recognizes individuals who are prepared to enter a registered apprenticeship within a specific industry sector, and these candidates earn advanced standing for an interview, helping employers shorten recruitment time and reduce the overall cost of identifying quality talent. The MARC Level 2 goes a step further. These individuals are ready to enter a registered apprenticeship in a specific occupation, and along with priority consideration for interviews, they are eligible to receive credit for both on-the-job learning and related instruction if hired, saving sponsors time and reducing training costs. So in short, the MARC is a win-win. Participants gain a clear pathway into skilled careers, and employers get access to candidates who are trained, aligned with industry standards, and ready to hit the ground running. In current apprenticeship models, pre-apprenticeship programs are completely optional, and many do not include any apprenticeship readiness training. What if there was a way to hire individuals who already possess interest and aptitude for high-demand, high-skill positions? And bonus, what if we can give them credit for previous learning experience, reducing that employer's sponsor time and cost commitments for apprenticeship training? So the goal was to get to a desired state here, where there was a strong entry-level pathway that was formally tied to employer-registered apprenticeship programs. So here's what we did. Our apprenticeship team worked closely with community and industry partners to establish 2 MARC-aligned pre-apprenticeship models here in West Michigan. The first partnership was formed with Fox Motors and the Kent Career Tech Center, otherwise known as KCTC. So Fox Motors already operated a really strong training program for their automotive techs. And they had been working with KCTC to engage students through internships and externships. So West Michigan Works helped Fox create a USDOL registered apprenticeship program, incorporating their training university into an approved related instruction outline. Then, looking at the industry sector entry skills students received through KCTC, we then identified several classes that aligned with the occupational specific skills that could be connected to Fox's apprenticeship training. So here were kids with interest and aptitude in becoming an auto mechanic, some who were getting certified in brakes and electrical repair at KCTC by the time they graduated high school. Fox had found high-performing entry-level candidates, and we were able to incorporate them into this MARC program. So, working with the U.S. Department of Labor, West Michigan Works was able to integrate the KCTC training into the work process schedule and formalize Fox's selection criteria to include specific language about students getting an interview and, if hired, credit for previous experience. This initiative became the first MARC-endorsed pre-apprenticeship under our standards, creating a direct pathway for students to earn a MARC credential and transition into Fox's apprenticeship program with advanced standing. We were pretty excited. Building on that success, West Michigan Works also collaborated with Royal Technologies in Hudsonville to expand the model into manufacturing. So documentation was submitted to create MARC Level 1 and Level 2 pathways connected to Royal's Mechatronics Registered Apprenticeship Program. This second partnership ensured that candidates entering the program were not only prepared for entry, but could also receive credit for related instruction and on-the-job learning when hired, reducing training time and costs for Royal Technologies. KCTC does an annual signing day for graduating students. They invite parents, they invite faculty, industry partners in attendance. Think National Signing Day for college football, only these are kids that are actually getting jobs. And this past April, as students were recognized and announced which businesses they would be working for, we were also able to celebrate and acknowledge students who achieved MARC accreditation and were selected for registered apprenticeship program. And here's pictures from that event. That guy on the right there looks familiar. We might be hearing from him in a little bit here. And so that brings us to the next part of our presentation, and I would like to invite our panelists up. Better than me rambling on any further, I want you to have a chance to hear from those who are directly involved in making the MARC program a reality in West Michigan. So I'm going to call up to the stage Scott Thatcher and Ben Singleton from Fox Motors, Tom McGovern and Arian Campbell from Royal Technologies, and Greg Eisenhoff from KCTC. Come on up, guys. There's a button on the microphone. Green, there you go, got it. Registered apprenticeship and the MARC are all about partners working together on a training model proven to accelerate worker skills development. So we want you to hear from partners who have successful apprenticeship programs and were instrumental in the launch of this pre-apprenticeship pilot program. So I'm going to start with the employers. All right, so Scott, Tom, whoever wants to go first. Question for you. Why did you originally choose to use registered apprenticeship, and how has the training model helped your organization?
Well, Joel, first of all, I think you covered just about everything I had to say. So,
Oops.
but no, that's all right. But so registered apprenticeship brought added structure to our hiring process. Using KCTC students coming through, it just added another layer of structure to that. And with the program, we have developed a stronger relationship with our apprentices, like Joel had already mentioned. And this has increased our employee retention greatly. Also, Fox was looking to offset a portion of the training center expenses, and we got that through grants that were accessible through the program. The program's hands-on training, as Joel also mentioned, reinforces what is learned in the classroom. This gives the instructor teaching moments to pass on knowledge and skills to the apprentice that may not have happened otherwise.
Nice. Thank you.
Thanks, Joel. So at Royal, about 10 years ago, we decided to start an apprenticeship program to help ensure that within our maintenance arena, we could have skilled individuals to be able to continue to keep our machines running and advance things, because we just couldn't find people out in the workforce already or there. And so for the last 9 years, we've have had 10 apprentices in the program. 6 have graduated. There's currently 4 in the program now. And of those 6 that graduated, all of them are still with us and doing extremely well. And except for the one. One is the one that left due to some family situations or whatever. So it's been a very good program. So, and then within the last year and a half, we've been working with Joel here for the MARC program. And that's added an extra benefit for the students to have more of an incentive to help get into the program, especially for the mechatronics arena. And then, and what that will do for us, it will also accelerate our training time. Our typical program is a 8,000-hour, 4-year program, but with this classroom time that they've already done in high school, and also their work time and their co-op will also transfer to that, and that'll shorten the time for us. So it's going to end up accelerating our full employment to be on the job.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. Speaking of the MARC, how has pre-apprenticeship helped address challenges in talent gaps that you've been facing? Sure.
Okay, so we're always looking for technicians. That's not an easy thing to find these days. And so with the pre-apprentice program, it identifies high school juniors and seniors that are interested in becoming technicians and who also have the aptitude. So that's part of that too. They have already been set on a path of learning and skills that we are looking to develop. So that helps with that. And the people who have been through the pre-apprenticeship program have a fast track to an interview at Fox. And this provides more potential candidates for us.
I don't know.
You kind of already answered
He
it.
kind of already answered the whole question right there. The main thing is it helps identify students with that desire and that potential, and it's easy to help see that when we do the interviews for them as well.
Yeah, kids with interest and aptitude that want to come work for your company. I mean, that's who we're looking for, right? That's what makes this program special. So let me turn to the apprentices, Ben and Ariane. What has your experience been like? And it's a two-part question, I guess. So what has your experience been like getting into an apprenticeship? And what do you think are the advantages apprenticeship gives to a student who's looking for a job?
So my experience in the apprenticeship, it's been incredible. Having mentors around you that have years and years of experience to help you through problems, and then especially with Fox, especially they help you out at the beginning. Being a technician, it's a lot of upfront costs. They help us out a lot with giving us a tool supply. And then just getting into the program, it was, the interview process was nice. It really helped narrow down who's going to be serious about this. And I feel, especially with my class, we got a great group of guys that are going to do really good as technicians.
Awesome. Thanks, Ben.
I mean, he kind of said the same thing, or he said what I was going to say too. I've had an amazing time at Royal, and I've been surrounded by people much more knowledgeable than I am in different sectors where there's people that are more well versed in machine repair and others that are more versed in fixture building and like robotics. And I've been able to learn from both of them and like attain some of their knowledge to try to become a maintenance person like them.
So Ariane, if you had to give advice to a student who is thinking about apprenticeship, what would you guys tell them?
Definitely go for it. It's if you're trying to get into a skilled trade, it's a lot of help, and you get on-the-job training, so you'll know exactly what you'll be doing. Maybe not to a 100% degree, but you'll know if you're trying to go into like a manufacturing job, you'll know how most of it works, depending on what company you go to.
Awesome. Ben, anything else?
I would say for advice-wise, it's really tough trying to find a company nowadays that's willing to help you build a career and not just have you in a job. So when these companies are offering programs like this, it's a huge help to try and fight your way into it, because it's just going to help you build a career instead of staying kind of just job to job. You actually have room for growth.
Nice, thank you. Again, one of the core components of the DOL apprenticeship is that business involvement, right? It's an employer-led program, and so the employer, it's an investment for them. But I think, as you've heard today, it's an investment that often pays off. So, all right, save the best for last. Greg Eisenhoff. What role do educational institutions and training providers play in supporting programs like the MARC?
See, Joel, first of all, I always think it's more impactful listening to the student voice because
Yeah,
the
right.
fact, when you say it, you're living it, right? So when we look at education and the piece that it has to do with industry, Career Tech education is very unique. It's not your normal education. Most of us instructors that teach in Career Tech education had to work at least 4,000 plus hours in industry in order to actually teach the courses that we're teaching. So due to that, all of us come from industry. We all understand what it is. My father always said, never forget where you come from. And it's important because when I look at back my high school years, you know, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And when you get into like a tech center and you're actually doing hands-on work, it really opens your eyes to, I love this or I hate this. Yeah. One of the two. The other thing is when you actually get into an employer, because in the classroom it's kind of like, cool, this is what it might look like in real life. But now you take them to real life, to the actual employer. From the employer side, when I sit down with employers, we always do internship and externships, and we already have like the MARC already set, the way we have it set up, because you have your RTI in Career Tech education. I'm going to break it down simply, is this. You may be in a class at Kent Career Tech Center. As a Kent Career Tech student, you also may be a Ferris State student taking concurrent credits, and that goes actually on your transcript, which aligns with many apprenticeships. They may be working through a college taking these specific classes. Well, the student's already getting the RTI in their class here at Kent Career Tech. They just need that OJT, that on-the-job training. So the employer's providing this is crucial. The cool thing is when you sit down with the employer and you're like, hey, listen, I got an idea. And the employer's like, uh-oh, what's that? And then you're like, what if we do this as a registered apprenticeship? Here's the thing. When you start taking education and industry, it's hard to see the difference unless you work in both. So then when I start looking at courses and competencies, scope and sequence of how curriculum's laid out, and then I sit down with an employer and say, listen, you're already doing it. We just got to show how it aligns. And then from there, we create these internships that go into these Mark apprenticeships, and it's huge. And what I think it does is education with you, Joel, working with West Michigan Works. It's like the educational piece in West Michigan Works are intermediates that really help employers and really take away a lot of the anxiety, because it's kind of like you're holding each other's hands as you work through the process. And it makes it very easy, very seamless, and honestly, at the end of the day, everybody wins.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, KCTC's been a great partner, and we appreciate all the support. So Greg, one last question. Looking at our next generation of workers, how might pre-apprenticeship help high schoolers find pathways into careers?
So when you start looking at yourself, I want you to take yourself back to your high school days. And if you're a student, all of us are like, yeah, I was a lost child during those times. And you're just trying to figure out life, and you're like, do I go to college? Do I not go to college? Some of us really hated school, like myself. I couldn't stand it. As a matter of fact, I said I'd never step foot in another classroom again. I have 2 masters. I don't know how that happened, but anyways, when you start looking back at that time, you go, what do I need to do? And when I look back, I immediately went over to Prince Corporation and worked in manufacturing when I graduated high school. And that was an eye-opener for me, because I started doing hands-on stuff, and I realized I really hate manufacturing. Although I met many great people in manufacturing, I knew that wasn't for me, which I eventually went into law enforcement. But looking back at those times, you're like, well, how does it help a student? If I had been in a manufacturing tech center, like a mechatronics program, I would have had better understanding of what that really was before I jumped into it, right? So being able to go into that program, be able to do an actual internship or externship in an actual industry that does that would have opened my eyes and saved a lot of time for myself as a student into what do I need to do? Because time, you can't buy more time. Time is gone as soon as time's gone. So the question is, how far can I jump ahead in time as a student, knowing now what I love? And think about that. You graduate high school, you can roll all those hours in your RTI, OJT into an actual apprenticeship if hired. You've jumped way ahead of most of your peers. Not only that, you get to network with people in industry. You get to understand basically the values and norms of that specific industry, the professionalism that comes with it. This program launches students so far ahead than anybody else that hasn't taken these chances and opportunities. So I honestly think that this MARC program brings an advantage to a student with dealing with time, as well as do they love this or do they not? Because it's at the end of the day, we all explore different avenues in our careers. And we thought we were going to start here and be here forever, and we end up there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just, so I think that this is a great experience for students and can take a student much further ahead than most.
Awesome. And that's why I saved him for last. Any questions for our panelists from the audience? Anybody have thoughts or ideas? Yeah, we'll start here.
This is a question for the apprentices. So, you know, you're part of this pilot program, so like, what has been the biggest challenge for you guys taking on these new responsibilities and understanding the apprenticeship?
So for me, it was just, for being a service technician especially, it's just, some of the jobs are intimidating when you come up on them. But having somebody like Scott or our other assistant, Tom there, they have so many years of experience. They've come across tons of problems. They're gonna know how to help you through it. They've probably experienced the exact same thing that you're going through. So they're gonna be able to really understand what's happening and show you how it happened, why it happened, and help you get through that problem.
Jumping into like an apprenticeship, scope is a lot bigger. I was at KCTC for mechatronics, and I got taught hydraulics and pneumatics and electrical systems. But like, yeah, I know how hydraulic systems as a circuit work, but then I go to my actual workplace and I have 2 blocks of just valves that control a whole injection molding machine.
Thanks, guys. Sorry about the screen noise. Didn't know that was going to be so loud. Other questions in the back? Yes, please.
So mentioned identifying students with interest and aptitude. What does the talent pool look like for that specific group of students today? Like, do you have students that are interested in jumping in and partnering with employers, or are you still, scoping the landscape to see who's out there and interested?
Greg, you want to chime in on that?
Sure. I'm gonna explain a process first, because I think this will open your eyes and you'll say, okay, I understand how this develops. So students, for instance, I'm just gonna take Fox Motors because I work heavily with them. What happened is we're like, hey, how do you expose a student to your business? So they had a great idea, hey, let's bring the students out to an actual dealership. And as a field trip, we'll take them through what our dealership and what our company is about. At the end of that, if any students are interested in possibly doing an internship or externship with us, here's a QR code, do that, apply with us, and then at that point, the process starts. So then Fox will give me the list of students that had applied. At that point, we look at which ones are eligible for internships, which ones are eligible for externships. The externships are non-paid short-term. Internships are paid longer-term, like throughout the whole semester. So we get the list, they come out, they do the interviews, because another thing is we want to give the students an experience of what it's like to interview in real life with a business. And then from that, they select the ones who they feel are most eligible and be the best fit for their actual internship and externships. From there, we notify the students, we set up the scheduling, and then we develop our training agreements and do our legal stuff behind the scenes of what needs to get done, and it's seamless, it's easy. Once we get that set in place, the students will either, the short-term externships will go out on rotations weekly to wherever they're supposed to be going. The internships get placed at a specific dealership, and then from there, they'll develop those skills on the internship level of what they'll be doing based upon what we agree on in the training agreements. So the process of bringing the student on awareness talk, just getting them to know who you are as a company, takes the student's anxiety away of like a cold call, right? So now they get to meet you and they're like, oh yeah, I remember you. You spoke to me in my class and I'm really interested in what you said and I'd love to come out and at least shadow it, right? It could start from a shadow. It could start from the process we did. But I think the awareness talks are the biggest thing is companies getting in the classes, saying who you are, allowing students to ask questions, and then at that point from there, just building that relationship. Because what I find is it's organic. You're not forcing anybody into it. It's them wanting to it. They sold into it. And I think at the end, you're going to find that you're going to be retaining them longer. As a matter of fact, this is not an actual apprenticeship program, but Trinity Health has actually, I've been working with them because I deal with health careers as well. And what they end up doing is they actually hired over 46 PCAs in the last 3 years, and they collected data, and they have an 89% retention rate. So when you start looking at the organic process of what I just explained, like Fox Motors is doing, they actually have collected data over the last 3 years and found 89% retention rate, and that's huge.
It's about those partnerships, right? And because KCTC had a relationship with Fox, they had already talked and kind of had mutual understanding of what they were both looking for. Again, as an intermediary or as the consultant, the middleman, we're always looking for people that have those partnerships, and we're happy to facilitate those discussions, right? Go ahead.
Hi, I'm on the flip side, so I am the trainer.
Yeah.
Coming to before they get to your organization. So I'm trying to build that partnership from us as a entrepreneur, business. I own my own business, but we work with a lot of youth. We don't have our own youth, but we can go to your organization, KCTT, Dr. Blue, that we can come to you and we can teach the basic skills that can go to any industry, but we really focus on hospitality management because we know that is booming for people that want to either start their own businesses or that are in the field. And so we teach customer service, self-awareness, all of those things. But then we also teach you if you want to start your own culinary business, all of those things. How do we build that relationship with the pre-apprenticeship that can be a blanket, and then also through hospitality management? Just wanted to know. I don't know why I'm looking at you, but I'm just saying anyone to answer.
I got all the answers.
Great question, Dr. Blue. And Tom or Scott, maybe you could speak to this, but yeah, how do you create those relationships as an employer with training providers or other community partners who do have access to youth that are looking for opportunities?
I guess we just start knocking on the doors. So about 4 or 5 years ago, I reached out to Ryan, who is not here, just said, because we knew we needed to try to get some younger talent in, as opposed, we already had an apprenticeship program, but we needed to get some younger talent. So we said, reach out to Ryan here at the Tech Center and saying, well, what do you guys have going on? And then met with Ryan and Greg here, and next thing you know, it's all led to this. Also, since we're in Hudsonville, we also, all the other community colleges around the area, I'm not directly involved with them, but we reach out to them as well. It's not just a KCTC thing. We're trying to reach out to our local area and try to make sure that we can provide tours if students want to come and tour our facility, and they can also apply for the internships as well. So it's just a matter of kind of just knocking on the door and starting those conversations.
So we do tours also. We bring in KCTC and they tour our facilities, and we talk about what's going on as far as the training center, that kind of thing. Our HR department has had more of a relationship with KCTC than I have, but I do the tours, that kind of thing, with the students that come in. Once they get there and they've actually hired in at one of our quick lubes. Usually that's the process. They come in, they work in our quick lubes, and then our service managers actually develop that relationship with them. And our service managers recommend them to the training center after that. So we have another layer there of, they come to our quick lube, they actually kind of have to prove themselves there before they're going to get recommended to the training center. And then I interview them at that point. So there's another added layer there.
Yeah, it's about the connections, all right? And that's why we're here today, to talk about these programs, to make sure that everybody has an awareness of some of the things that are happening and some of the successes that we're finding by making these connections with training partners and educators and employers and getting them connected to state and federal programs. So great question. Thank you.
Can I add one thing, Joel?
Yep.
Just think about what your question was and everything like that. It sounds like your company does more with working with students to try to teach them how to get the skills, whatever it is, okay, which might be a little bit different. Like if hey, you graduate, we'll work with you. That might be with more of your local school districts and pulling talent from them because they're not getting that specific technical training like they are at a CTE center. Back up a little bit though, back to that actual apprenticeship stuff that we discussed. If your company has several different locations, there's several different tech centers all around the state of Michigan that you can now start, once you get that apprenticeship set, your paperwork's good, you start pulling from all different areas. So like Ottawa County right here, Troy is with Ottawa County, and he works a lot with businesses in Ottawa County because Royal is in Ottawa County as well. So they work both Ottawa and us. So like if your company as well, and you're like, I want to know who I can contact at a different tech center, feel free to reach out also to myself or anybody at the tech centers, and we could contact you also with the right groups. If you're on the east side of the state, north, UP, wherever it might be, we do have the contacts of other coordinators working in CTE areas.
West Michigan, nice, right? We're all looking to collaborate. I love it. Great questions. Anybody else? Yes.
There's been a shift over the last several years of more interest and support from parents in skilled trades. How would you describe where we are in that current stage? Where are we right now in that interest and support in skilled trades?
Still in the transition, right? Like it's shifting, and it's shifting with the educational organizations as well. And that mindset is, hey, it's not all about going to four-year college. So we're certainly still in that transition. I don't know if anybody else has thoughts on that, but we're continuing to see that shift. I don't know if Callan, my friend from the State Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity, you got thoughts on that?
Yeah. It's a great question. I think we see it on our side and working with all 16 Michigan Works and all of our friends at the CTE, community colleges. It is changing. I think we're still in the transition, but one thing we see, and Scott might talk about that a little bit later, but we see around 300 interested potential candidates for every one employer that's interested. So that's why events like these are so important. We really also need the employers to engage in the process, because there are people with interest and they're getting the aptitude and they're ready to come work for you if you have those opportunities ready for them.
Good. Yes.
My name is Teresa. I'm from Art of Flex Manufacturing. We already are coming into the classroom, offering the tours, have the apprenticeship program established. The one place where our supervisors get held up as, what can these students do under 18 safety-wise?
Yeah.
What is our parameters? Because that is what hesitates them, because we work in a tool and die type industry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, safety regulations.
Colby and I work a lot with the HR, because if you're under 18, if you're under your training program like career tech education like we do, there's a lot of hazardous occupation exemptions. And whatever it is, we'll sit down with you, we'll go over those hazardous occupation exemptions with you, so that when we put that training agreement together, you know that, okay, we're in compliance with OSHA, with all the other, MIOSHA, everything, so there's no worries with that as well. So like, once you're ready to go forward with that, we will sit down with you and help you through that process.
Yeah, because KCTC is working with the youth, they really have a good understanding of those regulations and those restrictions. So again, that's why it's important to get together and sit at the table with the right people to have those conversations. But I'll tell you this, it's not impossible, and there are ways to get youth into those occupations or those positions and do some of that work so that they can learn it, get to a point where they could get in the apprenticeship and then actually fill those positions when they're of age. But there's certainly a way to do that, and we've seen it happen again and again. So, great question. Yes, sir.
Is the Going Pro Talent Fund part of the process to incentivize industry partners? And if yes, how does it work? And if not, are there other grants that are available to help industry partners so that they can pay for the apprenticeships?
Yes and yes. So Going Pro Talent Fund is not my area of expertise, but that's certainly one of the things that is out there. That's an application process for a training grant to help employers pay for training costs. It is an application process that you have to fill out, but we do have people on our team at West Michigan Works that can help you walk through that application and explain that. But yes, and there are other grants available. And the way that they're usually set up is it's just to help employers offset costs. So it's an employer reimbursement that they can apply to costs that are associated with the training program. And so there's flexibility, again, in how that money can be used. It can be used to pay tuition. It can be used for books or supplies, all kinds of different things. But yeah, there is a lot of, and I think Scott will talk about this when I bring him up in a little bit, but there is a huge interest on the state and federal level to expand apprenticeships, and so there is funding that goes along with that as a priority.
Joel, I'll just add to the comment on that. It's not my area, but I do know the Going Pro. I just had to submit a thing to our HR team as far as how many apprentices I was going to have in the program this year and et cetera. And I believe for the Going Pro, we get up to $2,000 per student that we can apply towards their schooling. Of course, we do require them to go to take some college classes as well. So, and I'm sure there's other funding that they do apply for as well.
Yep.
It's due Thursday.
It's due Thursday. So much fun, right? Yes, sir.
So at what grade level are you getting those students in for those first tours and those first discussions? Is that like 10th grade? Because you're serving 11th and 12th grade with the technical grade.
11th and 12th grade. So
you're waiting, not getting all the way back to 10th grade to start having those conversations with them so they can get in 11th grade.
yeah,
Sure that. If you really want to get like in front of a lot of students, Krista Harmon with our organization deals with that with the local school districts. If you want to get in front of several kids at like 9th and 10th grade levels, the ones that come to the tech center are specifically 11th and 12th graders. So if you want to get ahead and you want to get these kids from all the local school districts interested, definitely get a hold of Krista Harmon. We can get her contact and she can get you connected with the school districts.
Doug, it's a great point though, right? And part of the team at West Michigan Works also convenes industry talent councils where we pull employers together in certain industries to talk about workforce challenges. And a lot of the work that those industry talent councils do is promoting opportunities, job opportunities, different occupations to kids that are K through 12. So there is an emphasis on reaching kids younger and getting them exposed and getting them to understand what options are out there. So great point.
And Krista Harmon's right there. I didn't see her.
I wanted to share something I know Ryan would have talked about if he was here, but we're trying, in the workforce development team, we're trying to be that connective tissue between education and employers. And so twice a month, we offer an event called Business Connected. It's just a 1-hour opportunity for you as employers to come and learn about the opportunities that exist all of Kent County, not just the tech center, to connect with kids. So we're going to talk about those. We're going to give you a tour of our tech center and help make that connection easier for you. So our website is the kentisd.org/WFD, Workforce Development. So it's a really great first step if you want to think about how you're going to connect with young people. That Business Connected, 1 hour, we offer it twice a month. Let's get you in and start the conversation.
You know what? I love our training partners. They are so enthusiastic about getting kids connected with employers. It's fantastic. Thank you. Any other questions from the audience? Okay, once again, thank you, panelists. We appreciate all your valuable insights into how the apprenticeship, pre-apprenticeship training models are helping your business. Let's give them a round of applause. And now, to kick off our recognition portion of today's presentation, I'd like to turn the floor over to Scott Yedley. He is the Administrative Manager of Apprenticeship Expansion for the Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity. Scott? Can use that.
Thank you, Joel. I can have my choice, he's telling me. I can choose whichever weapon I desire. I'm going to take this one, the mobile one.
Love it.
And just a point of process here, it says on my script that I'm supposed to ask for the applause for the panel, Joel. So that's the first. Yeah, absolutely. Let's give him another round. And Joel, you can appreciate some of that. Well done. So these events are definitely, from a state perspective, our favorites. And yes, we do tell all the events the same thing, but these really are our favorites. So well done, you, is kind of how I'd start. The events are set up to recognize regions, sectors. We don't do the expansion in Lansing. You do it right here. It's super obvious. I don't need to explain it to you because most every one of you is already engaged. So that's how registered apprenticeship expands in Michigan. And keep me straight, Joel, if I miss something you wanted me to share, for sure. He does that great. He keeps me straight. But we take it really seriously in Lansing because we have a talent deficiency everywhere. And I was commenting to several of you who are fully engaged in this program, you're really not just doing something about it, you are like leading the way. So we have 16 of these regions, but it is so exciting to be here. It doesn't surprise me that you're one step ahead. You're innovating for sure. This is a training and, I don't know, workforce development innovation hub, I feel like, in this region. You're already into the mark. Usually we're kind of digesting registered apprenticeship, which we saw a little bit of it, but you're not piloting, you're really leading the development. So I can't say enough in the way of thanks and recognition for what you're doing. These events are set up to do that, to help us recognize what you're doing, but you're really deserving of the recognition. So Thank you for what you're doing. Overall in Michigan, we've invested about $100 million in the last 6 years into growing the infrastructure in the state to support more and more registered apprentices. The benefits are clear. You're already experiencing them and talking about them. So we're trying to expand the use of the model. How are you doing? We're at 24, almost 25,000 as of a couple weeks ago, active registered apprentices in Michigan. You got a lot of them in your region. So well done. Yes, congratulations and applause, please, for yourselves. Thank you. So you already talked about the 94% retention rate. It may or may not be of interest that the median annual wage for an apprentice 1 year after completion, and this is 2-year-old data, we don't get the data until 2 years after, is over $80,000. Those that don't graduate from a registered apprenticeship in Michigan have a median annual wage of $48,000. So we're almost doubling the percentage for those graduates. The word is out. There's a lot of buzz. A lot of it's created by you. Thank you for what you do. A lot of it is still person to person. The reason these are set up for employers and apprentices on the panel is we really need to hear it from you. So don't forget, you're the experts. I can talk about it. It doesn't mean anything. We don't use these in Lansing to grow talent. Shame on us. Right? We will in the future, near future. But anyway, I'm super honored to be here today. Am I missing any talking points that you can think of? Why we're 10th in population in Michigan nationally. And I was going to talk a little bit, I was thinking in the back about you being a national leader because you are, especially in this region. So we're 4th nationally for the number of active registered apprentices. So it's pretty amazing. And our growth rate is tremendous. Okay, was that what I was supposed to say, sort of, or, okay, all right. You're welcome. And then we also want to formally, can I read this, or you're going to read it? Okay, all right. We'd like to now formally recognize Fox Motors, and everybody knows why, we just heard about it, as a Race to Talent with Registered Apprenticeship Champion. That's what these say for those that can't read them. Joel's going to model one for us. It says Race to Talent, and we heard about all the acceleration, the way it causes a worker to be ready sooner. That's why it's a race. With registered apprenticeship, there's some flags on there. They're like you're crossing the finish line. And Registered Apprenticeship Michigan is our brand, established now 4 or 5 years. And a champion is in capital letters for a reason. So, Office of Apprenticeship, the Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity is honored to recognize you, the State Apprenticeship Expansion Team, and West Michigan Works, phenomenal partner, and each of your partners as well. Thank you for being a vital part of our efforts to expand pre-apprenticeships and registered apprenticeships across the state of Michigan. Diane Maher. Okay, great. Didn't meet her yet. Gonna meet her now. Okay. Joel said, "Put the mic down." Thank you. Whoops, I was gonna congratulations. Thank you for being here.
Okay, I brought a couple things to share with you all. Yesterday, I was with Dan, our owner, and as I meet with him once a month, and this time of year we go over goals. And one thing that occurred to me is this has been on the top of my goal list for the last 4 years, and it's really rewarding to be here today to kind of see what this idea many years ago has turned into and be recognized for it. So it's very much appreciated. This training center is led by Scott Thatcher, who you've heard from today. He has been a master technician since 1993. He was named ASE Honda Master Automobile Technician of the Year in 2021. shortly after accepting his current assignment. Our tech center was established in April of 2021 with the goal of developing skilled automotive technicians through hands-on and classroom-based education. Over the past 4.5 years, the center has grown into a vital part of Fox's commitment to workforce development and excellence in auto repair. To date, Scott has successfully trained 45 individuals, equipping them with the knowledge and experience needed to thrive in the automotive industry. Many graduates have gone on to be factory certified technicians, contributing to Fox service departments and the broader automotive community. The classroom portion of the program is designed to ensure every student understands how each system of a vehicle works. This foundational knowledge prepares the students to pass the State of Michigan mechanics test, which is a key milestone to their professional journey. Fox provides used vehicles from its sales lots to the tech center, training students so they get real-world experience in repairing and diagnosing vehicles. As these students work on the vehicles, they are not only learning, but they're also reconditioning the cars for resale, adding value to Fox's inventory while gaining practical skills. The dual approach, education and reconditioning, creates a win-win. Students gain hands-on experience, and Fox benefits from improved vehicle readiness. The programs reflect Fox's investment in people, quality, and innovation, setting a high standard for technician training. As the center continues to grow, the goal remains the same: to empower the next generation of technicians with the tools, knowledge, and confidence to succeed. As the center continues to grow, the mission remains the same: develop and train passionate and knowledgeable people who create a lifetime of remarkable experiences. Our team is here today. We had the vision for this, but they've brought it into life, and so I want to thank everybody for all your work with us.
I'll be your Vanna again.
All right. Thank you, Joel. We'd now like to formally recognize Royal Technologies as a Race to Talent with Registered Apprenticeship Champion by presenting them with the Crystal Award on behalf of the U.S. Department of Labor, Office of Apprenticeship, the Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity State Apprenticeship Expansion Team, and West Michigan Works. Thank you for being a vital part of our efforts to expand pre-apprenticeships and registered apprenticeship programs in the state of Michigan.
One more. Celebrity. Sure.
Thank you. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Joel. On behalf of Royal Technologies, it's my honor to accept this award. I don't have a speech prepared, so I don't think I can follow that or whatever, but just kind of like I mentioned before, we've been doing the apprenticeship program and working with Michigan Works for the last going on 10 years, and it's been extremely successful for us. We have 10 apprentices in there, 6 have graduated, and it's been a great thing for us, and also hopefully it's a great thing for the apprenticeships, the apprentices as well. So thank you very much.
Okay. Actually, Joel offered me closing remarks, and I don't have any that I didn't already say, other than to reinforce that what you're doing is unique and it's impactful. And again, I'll just remind you, because it is important, we talk to employers every single day that have a need for talent. Very few are growing their own already and talking about how they're doing it. So thank you for your continued leadership in the region and everything you do in Michigan to grow talent.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate you. Thank you, sir. All right, thank you again to our partners for sharing their experience and helping us forge ahead with this new pilot program in pre-apprenticeship. These efforts reflect a larger regional strategy too. Conversations are ongoing with additional career tech centers to align high school work-based learning with registered apprenticeship in West Michigan. By leveraging strong employer relationships and existing high-quality training programs, we are looking to create more marked pathways that reduce recruitment time, improve candidate readiness, and build a more reliable talent pipeline for employers like you. I would like to point out the apprenticeship team from West Michigan Works is in the building. Zach Siegel, wave your hand. We have Angela Johnson and Sam Hinkle in the back of the room. Please, if you have questions or you'd like to talk more about registered apprenticeship or the MARC, the team is here for you. I want to thank everyone who's helped us plan this program. This is the conclusion of our formal part, but please stick around if you have questions, network, discuss with our panelists and our friends at the state. But we appreciate your attention this morning and hope you found this information very helpful. Thank you so much.